So today we are back with another video that I feel it's going to be a little controversial just because of how people are acting over this. Like, it's honestly a little ridiculous. But as you can see by the title of today's video, we are going to do a first impression of Cyberpunk 2077. So let us get right into the gameplay. So honestly, there is actually a lot to this game. It is not just a simple shooter. I mean, of course it is, you know, you have your gun and everything. But then you also have, I guess what could best be compared to is like Horizon Zero Dawn, how you have like a scanner and you can scan things and find out information about it and whatnot. And honestly, like, the graphics look good and everything. It does run very smooth. We have not had any problems with it. Of course, there are some graphical glitches and just stuff happens because it's a big game. Stuff happens, but it's nothing that makes the game unplayable or ruins it or anything like people are going on about. In this game, you also have, you know, your usual kind of skill trees type thing like you would see in Skyrim and whatnot. And you have, you know, you got these choices that you can do that they will, as far as I know, they do affect some things. And then with your skill tree even, you have like different perks and abilities depending on the level of certain things that you'll be able to upgrade and then have these abilities from. So you also have a lot of like, you'll be getting cyber tech, and the cyber tech is like, it's stuff, you know, you put in your shin or your hand or whatever that allows you to do different things. Like you can do different hacking, or you have different kind of defenses, which of course your clothes also will affect your defense and resistance. And you also have like blunt force object, not just guns, but I don't really use that much, and neither does my husband. What he kind of tends to do is taking the sneaking route of just like hacking into someone and short-circuiting them, or you know, whatever. Also, there is driving and of course police intervention, and as you can see, I am not great at driving and ended up accidentally doing something illegal and taking out like 5 light poles. And then as you can see by the mini map, you know, you get the cops after you. It's like GTA. It'd be the same thing of where you just hide somewhere and the cops, you know, it'll eventually go down. Don't shoot the cop dead like I did, because then you get another star. But literally all what you have to do to get the cops off you is like GTA, where you just hide out for a while. And then there is also just one other thing. For certain things when you're doing them, you can have different dialogue choice depending on what background you picked, because you know, you would know certain things. So like the fact, you know, he's had some street kid, I picked Corpo like I stated, so I have some different dialogue option and learned a little something interesting that he actually, my husband did not know when he was playing through this game, because I had the Corpo option, whereas he only had the street kid. But anyway, this game, it runs smooth. There's a lot to it and a lot of different interesting mechanics. Let's move on to the story of the game. So the basics of the story is you have 3 different starts, and my husband, he picked Street Kid, I picked Corpo. So I'm just going to specifically go over if you pick Corpo. I don't know about the third one. But if you pick Corpo, basically what happens is you get caught doing kind of like being willing to take, you know, this shady kind of business deal. You get busted and they kick you out. You're not Corpo anymore, you're now on the streets. So now you're going to hang out with your friend Jackie, and you're gonna be a merc. And you know, you get your first job done, it's going great. So then you get noticed by the big dude, you know, pretty big guy, pretty big in the mercenary world, and you get a really big deal job. And let's just say the job doesn't go quite as you had expected it to. So, you know, things go one way or another from there. And that's really all I'm going to say on the story. And of course there is like a ton of side missions and everything that you can do, so you can meet different characters or not meet certain characters, and it's just all kinds of stuff. And like I said, For the other one, I don't know, but for Street Kid, I do know, you know, to return back, you were trying to do one job and that's how you met Jackie, whereas in Corpo, you kind of always knew Jackie. You were like friends from high school or something, I think. So it does vary a little depending on what you pick as your start. There is some difference in that. But anyway, let us get on to my thoughts and opinions. Honestly, I think the biggest thing with this game is, yes, it was kind of annoying that, you know, CD Projekt Red kept delaying it, but the thing is it's a huge game, so they were trying to fix a bunch of bugs and everything. When they were started receiving death threats over it, yeah, they ended up pushing it out, and then people complained because they finally released the game, and everyone's complaining now because there's a lot of glitches and stuff. Now, my husband and I have not run into any game-breaking glitches. We have run into, of course, some glitches happening, but they're kind of like stupid ones that happen in like Skyrim. Like there was, you know, in this one mission, every time he kept spawning in because he died, he spawned sitting like inside Pan Am, which, I mean, it didn't break the game, it was just kind of a weird glitch. Honestly too, we're playing it on his PS4 Pro. It runs perfectly fine. Like, I don't know what kind of problem people are having. A lot of it is if you go into settings and turn off, I can't remember exactly what they are, but just turn off certain settings or turn off HDR or whatever, you can get it so the game runs smoother, and they're releasing patches and everything. So I feel like the biggest problem with this game is people were bitching, and yes, I'm gonna curse a little because it's slightly annoying. They were complaining at CD Projekt Red. They released the game, and now they're complaining that they got a game that's not 100% perfect. Even though CD Projekt Red was like, hey, we're trying to perfect this game, there's still a lot we need to do. This game isn't ready to be released, but they started receiving death threats over the game. So now, you know, it's turned into this huge controversy. But anyway, honestly, we're really enjoying this game. I think it has a pretty engaging story. I like the whole, you know, you're like, everybody is into, you know, being like cyber kind of mech people. It's not just you. Night City is huge and expansive, and there's like, you know, the outskirts of it. And honestly, I think it's, you know, there's plenty to do. There are plenty of engaging and interesting characters and some interesting side missions. For instance, there's one where a guy got a robo, you know, and it ended up being faulty, so you have to help him with that. So, you know, there's some interesting stuff going on in this game, and some interesting characters and people you're running into. Like, honestly, like I said, we're really enjoying our time with the game. The controls, you know, it runs perfectly smooth. Like, we honestly have not had any problems with game-breaking glitches and stuff. We notice glitches, but in a game that size, there's always going to be glitches. There's stuff in Red Dead Redemption 2, there's stuff in Skyrim, there's probably still stuff in The Witcher. Like, big games like that, there's gonna be some glitches. And everyone complaining about this, it's like insane if you ask me. I don't know if my husband and I got some special magical copy, but I don't think we did, because it runs perfectly fine. Honestly, I do say check it out. And they're releasing patches, and they're gonna release another giant patch in January. So even if you just want to wait a little bit, I completely understand, that's fine. But they're making the game perfectly playable and enjoyable. I'm enjoying my time with it, you know. It's really cool with the character creation, just how in-depth it goes and everything. And I'm not just talking about the, shall we say, human anatomy, but, you know, it's pretty, like, with the oh, I can't remember what it's called, but the thing that, like, is the tech on your face, and you can have, like, tattoos. You can like make your nails long or short and have different colors on them. You can get pretty specific with the makeup and scars and your hair. There's a lot. So honestly, it's pretty in-depth character creation too. It's pretty cool, and you can't go wrong with Keanu Reeves being in the video game. Like, he just makes it so nice and so wonderful. So honestly, I say this game is, I'm gonna say 8.5 out of 10. And I'm saying 8.5 just because, you know, and I'm not blaming CD Projekt Red for this, but they did release it, so they're, you know, with some graphical issues and some more glitches and stuff than they were probably planning to have it released at. So that's why I'm just gonna do that. Like I like the setting, but at the same time, and this is just a very personal preference, like I feel like the way the city is too dark and gritty. I'm not the biggest fan of like that kind of city setting, if that makes sense. Like there are certain parts of the map I like the aesthetic look better, but that's just completely personal. Like, can't blame them for that. If you want to see pictures of my glorious doggo, go ahead and follow my Instagram down below. If you want to keep up to date on what is going on with videos and whatnot, go ahead and follow my Twitter down below. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. You don't have to, but it helps me to know you know, what you guys are enjoying. Go ahead and leave down in the comments below, you know, if you've had any, what are maybe some funny glitches you've had or something with Cyberpunk, and maybe what are your thoughts on this whole thing with this game. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I upload every Monday and Friday and a vlog whenever I feel like it. And that is going to be it for today's video, and I will see you all next time. Bye!